Thus, in the office of the provincial prison, it was considered sacred and important. Not that all animals and people were given the tenderness and joy of spring, but it was considered sacred and important that the day before a paper had been received with a number, stamp, and heading stating that 3 prisoners held in the prison under investigation, 2 women and 1 man, were to be delivered by 9 o'clock in the morning on that day, April 28th. One of these women, as the most important criminal, was to be delivered separately. And so, on the basis of this order, on April 28th at 8 o'clock in the morning, the senior warden entered the dark, stinking corridor of the women's section. Following him, a woman with an exhausted face and curly gray hair entered the corridor, dressed in a blouse with sleeves trimmed with galloons and belted with a belt with blue piping. She was the warden. "Do you want Maslova?" she asked, approaching one of the cell doors that opened onto the corridor with the guard on duty. The guard, rattling iron, unlocked the lock and, opening the cell door, from which flowed an air even more foul than that in the corridor, shouted, "Maslova, to court," and again closed the door, waiting. Even in the prison yard there was fresh, invigorating air from the fields brought by the wind to the city. But in the corridor there was oppressive typhus air, saturated with the smell of excrement, tar, and rot, which immediately brought despondency and sadness to every newcomer. The warden who came from the yard experienced this herself, despite her habit of bad air. She suddenly felt tired as she entered the corridor, and she wanted to sleep. There was a commotion in the cell, women's voices and the steps of bare feet.